mirror reflection. That's why people's choice is projection. It's easier to point the finger. This is obvious. Why would you take responsibility for things when you could just point to someone else? Luckily, with politics and religion and race and identity, you can just blame anybody but yourself. And the sex is what sex is. It was bound to be this way. And you know that civilization is fixing to collapse, and they ain't looking back. You can't convince them otherwise. 'Cause when somebody is convinced of anything, good luck trying to get them to see it the other way or any other way. There are plenty of ways besides just the two, but most people, they can't even see that there are two. They think there's only one way, so I'm very nuanced, but at the same time I have ideals that I can't live up to. So I just give up on everything. No, really though. That probably sounds pretty cynical, but I'm not the one. I'll never be the one to do the stuff that all the sheep do. Like get married and have children and have a stable job. I mean, my restaurant job is stable, but we'll see how long that lasts. I mean, people choose instability. They choose technology, and technology is promising their demise, the eventuality of humanity, you know? Or not eventuality, is that the right word? Oh, the extinction of humanity. Yeah. Technology is an abortion at any age. We'd rather engage on a Facebook page than with someone that's directly in front of you. That's the end of civilization, okay? Everything is mere reflection. I'm not expecting anything positive anymore. So if anything positive happens, boy, oh boy, am I surprised. But that's nice. It's nice to have a pleasant surprise. If I sound really dark, get the fuck off of my get the fuck off of my I can't get the fuck off of my channel. Okay? Bye, bitch. The sheep done themselves in. They always do. It's just now. There's no coming back to whatever was here before. People are lying to themselves for sure. Because they don't want to accept the fact that it's really over, you know? And what I mean by that, the period of time when people wouldn't lose their minds so easily, that's over. That doesn't mean life is over. That doesn't mean that the world is over. That just means that when things were more stable, when people tried harder, when people were more capable of being aware of themselves, that part's over. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that are very capable. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that are willing to do better. It just means that the morale is so low, it's gonna keep on getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and motherfucking lower. And people are gonna keep complaining about it, as if complaining about it's gonna change any motherfucking thing. It never has, it never will. Comedians are really the only ones that can make a lick of a difference, and we'll probably get killed for it. Fine, that's fine with me. I mean, good fucking riddance, you know? You see what happened to Bill Hicks? Bill Hicks told more truth than any comedian ever has. He died at 32. Okay? Sorry. Gotta get as much kombucha as I can. Okay? Yeah. People always compare me to him. I never listened to him. And then I looked up his quotes and I was like, holy shit, we're the same. And then I watched his stand-up and I was like, oh my god, he's everything that I wish I was on stage. No, but really though, he was amazing. So confident too, like so smooth, you know. I don't have that smoothness. Not at all. Now I don't know if he rehearsed all that shit. I probably should do more research on him. But I don't know why people think there's this conspiracy that Bill Hicks was transformed into Alex Jones. Apparently this is because they look similar and they're both from Texas. This is why this is a conspiracy, because of those two facts. Okay? I think that something as dumb as that is one of those, like, conspiracies that they use to try to discount conspiracy theorists. Now, anything's possible, okay? Anything's possible. But that's kind of weird. Like, I don't even understand, like, how or why that would happen. Like, this comedian is gonna transform into an even crazier conspiracy theorist that has his own news network where he sells supplements, and I can only assume reports people to the government that buy them. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I think about this a lot. Like, all these people, all these famous people. And I'm like, what if this is all fake? Like, what if none of these people are real? What if they existed only to be replaced or whatever? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But I think that that's what's cool about me, is I'm not pretending that I know anything. All I know is that I feel God's presence, okay? I can't prove anything else. And I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make money off of any of that shit. I'm not trying to sway people in a particular direction. I'm just trying to express, like, you know, my life and things that have worked for me and things that haven't worked for me. And sometimes I feel guilty. I feel bad because the way that people misinterpret things so gravely these days, and how sensitive they are. Like, I never want to hurt anybody with my opinions and shit, but it's like, well, they're choosing to watch this, though. They can choose to stop watching it. They can choose to stop listening to it, you know? If people don't like it, or they get offended by it or whatever, They can choose to not pay attention to it. Yeah, I'm trying to just, like, talk about this in a different way with the phone addiction. And I think that I'm going back to meetings for multiple reasons. And I think one of them is to try to sort of empathize with this even more. Because I really do see the phone addiction as, I'm just seeing all addiction as, like, this attachment. So if it's really hard for people to have healthy relationships, and if that attachment style stems from childhood, that stems from your caregivers, that stems from the relationship that you had or didn't have with your parents. I mean, I know for me, being adopted, that has a lot to do with it. But, like, because of that, there's so much that I've learned. There's so much that I've studied about mental illness and addiction and all these things because of me. I'm so lucky for that. I'm so grateful. And I wouldn't be on this path if like, my mother hadn't made this decision to give me up for adoption, and I've been, like, screwed up about it, and I had to process the information the way that I processed it. And then I became this drunk before I was even legally allowed to drink in the United States of America. And went to a rehab clinic and ended up becoming a chain smoker in a place where I was supposed to be giving up addiction. I just picked up another one. And it definitely led me down this path that I'm on. So, I don't think I would have figured out that stand-up comedy was what I was supposed to do with my life if I hadn't been on that path. And just working in restaurants, that's been really beneficial to, like, understanding how the world works and, spending time with a lot of other races and cultures and working with a lot of people that have been abused and but I've learned way more from my relationships with work people I worked with than I ever did with, like, people that I've slept with. I mean, every person I slept with just proved to me why I should be alone, or men just proved to me why I'm probably gay, So isn't that funny? I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't want to be gay though. I wish I could just be with a man, but, like, I don't know. I'm just not wired to do that. I'm wired to sit in my car and yak. If there's somebody in my car, I'd want to kick him out. I want to kick him out. Every time there's someone in my car, I want to kick them out. Every time there's someone in my house, I want to kick them out. Anytime I'm at somebody else's house, I can't wait to leave. Anytime I'm spending time with people, I can't wait to go to the bathroom. I can't wait to walk outside. I can't wait to, like, excuse myself. Like, you're not going to change that about me, and I'm not going to pretend that that can change about me. Like, something would have to happen to, like, rewire my brain. And I don't know what it would have to be, but I feel like the only thing that could do it would be a child. So, like, if I met somebody that had a kid and I met their kid and I just, something happened, like, that motherly instinct or whatever kicked in, like, maybe, I don't know, but it's like, would I want to have sex? Would I want to be a companion? Would I want to make dinner? Would I want to be a housewife? All that shit. I mean, yeah, like, there's this part of me that, like, wishes that I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I can't make myself want what I don't want. It's like, have you ever looked at food and, like, wished that you could eat it? Like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, there are certain things that I'm like, man, I really wish that I liked, I'm trying to think of like a type of food that, like olives. You like come comparing olives to like marriage. I'm like, man, I really wish I liked olives, but green olives though, I developed a taste for green olives, but not black olives. I do not like black olives. But every time I see them, like on a pizza or on a sandwich or something, I'm like, I want to eat that, and then I eat it. I'm like, these are disgusting. So yes, I feel the same way about husbands that I do olives. Okay, gross. I just want to spit them out. Anyway, yeah, it's just like, you can't force a square peg into a round hole, damn it. You really can't. And it really makes you resent that, too. You know, like, the more that people try to make you feel guilty about that, the more you really resent those people. And you're like, fuck you. Like, now I'm going to go out of my way to keep reminding you that I don't want that from you. I'm going to go out of my way. Like, and that, I guess that's what Nietzsche was talking about, was like, you know, becoming a monster. I just don't want to look at people like that. Like, oh, somebody's traumatized, they're a monster. Somebody's a narcissist, they're a monster. You know, it's like they're dealing with shit from their childhood and they don't even know they're doing that. That's why, like, I say there's no point in trying to engage with somebody or, like, say, you're doing this, you're doing that. They're not going to see it. And that's why it's stupid for me to even get upset or offended by it, because it's like they're resorting to tactics that are so childish. It's like they're grasping at fucking straws. That's why they're doing it, and I know that. And so I can't get mad about it, but at the same time, it still bothers me. It's not like it's not going to get to me at all. It just doesn't get to me the same way that it gets to people that aren't as empathic, you know? Because if they don't have as much empathy, then they're just going to get offended and be like, fuck you. Like, why are you treating me this way? Why are you saying these things, you know? I understand. Because I understand, like, maybe, like, I put up with it more than I have to, but I don't know. I really do feel sorry for people. Like, I'm pretty sure my brother's some kind of narcissist, you know? And he doesn't want to talk to anybody in the family. And, like, I dealt with that shit a long time ago. And because of that, like, I forgave my parents and I don't have a relationship with them. And he doesn't have a relationship with them anymore, you know? Whereas before, he was, like, trying to please them. He was trying to do everything that they told him to do. And now he's fucking miserable. And I, like, never did anything they asked me to do. And it's like they still took care of me. There's a parable in the Bible about the two sons. About, like, this one son that goes out and takes his inheritance and, like, just squanders it. In modern day time, he would be a heroin addict or something. But the other son is, like, real good. He's a goody two-shoes. He does everything his dad wants him to do. And he's mad whenever the other son comes back and begs for forgiveness. He's mad that his dad, like, welcomes him with open arms. Because, you know, he was doing exactly what his dad asked him to do the whole time, and he envies his brother for going out and doing whatever the fuck he wanted. You know, I think that my brother definitely envies that. That I just said to hell with authority and, like, did whatever the fuck I wanted. But I think that I was just, like, living by another authority, you know? Like, marijuana is probably the best example I could cite. Like, I was on psychiatric drugs that were totally legal. Totally made me want to kill myself. Totally made me swim out past the rip current. In the Atlantic Ocean. And I almost drowned. Okay? I don't think I would have done that if I wasn't on Lexapro. Okay? Because those voices are a lot louder. Those self-destructive voices are way louder when you're on medication. But I was also in a bad relationship, though. So that had a lot to do with it, too. So I'm not just going to blame pharmaceutical companies and my psychiatrist. So, anyway, I chose to smoke pot because pot actually helped me. I felt like it helped me at the time. And it did. And so me saying, no, I'm not going to take medication anymore, I'm going to medicate myself, like, that was me listening to my body. And me taking that risk, even though it was super illegal in the state of Tennessee. It was definitely not kosher in my house. My parents are very much opposed to that. But I carved my own path with marijuana. Like, I would not be on the path I'm on if it weren't for marijuana. Because literally, like, the reason why I started working in restaurants because I know they wouldn't drug test me. I mean, I always wanted to work in restaurants anyway, though. Like, I always kind of saw myself working in restaurants. Like, when I was in high school, I told my parents that I wanted to go to college. I just wanted to work in a restaurant. And they didn't like that. And they put me in college. And I partied my way out and ended up in rehab. So, it's like, I ended up on this path that I wanted to be on. In spite of the fact that there were forces, specifically my parents, but, you know, just the forces of the world, the forces of authority, the forces of education systems and everything. You know, like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm working in a restaurant and I'm doing drugs. You know? But I don't think I would have figured out stand-up. I don't think I would have figured out that there's a lot of stuff that I could do creatively if I hadn't been on that path. And, you know, now I don't use drugs anymore, and I don't, I don't have the same shitty outlook that I used to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like, you gotta figure it out. Like, the reason I used to be very liberal is because I'm against war, and I really hate, you know, people telling me what to do. And I think that liberalism is kind of, it's like Protestantism. It's very much like a fuck you to authority. But the problem is, much like Protestantism, it's like, it's its own authority, and it doesn't fucking work. And so you got all these, like, fringe people that they're in these different groups that don't make a lick of sense, and they don't really know what the hell they believe in. So, you know, if all that you really believe, it's like a reaction, you know, like you're protesting against some foundation or some structure or whatever. It's like, okay, well, what do you believe in, though? Like, what do you actually believe? What's your foundation? What is stabilizing you? A lot of these people, they don't have an answer for that. Like, it just seems like the stuff that people think they believe in it isn't really real stuff. Like, equality is not a real thing, you know, unless you're talking philosophy. Most of these motherfuckers are not talking philosophy, okay? So, yeah, I don't really want to discriminate against people. But at the same time, like, if somebody's acting a fool, if somebody's doing crazy shit, like, I don't care what color you are, but, I mean, we all know what color is causing the most trouble. And it's not white, yellow, or brown, okay? So, we can speculate that it's black, okay? but yeah, plenty of black people don't cause trouble, though. I would say the black people that do cause trouble are definitely causing trouble for those other black people, you know? So, what's the solution to this? I mean, I don't think that having a prison system in this country works. So that's why we need to have a prison system somewhere else. I mean, that's what used to happen, right? Fucking Australia, New York City. They just used to throw people somewhere else. Why can't we just do that again? Anyway, I don't know, that probably seems like you're evading the problem, though. Like, you're just casting out the problem. Well, I think the problem needs to be isolated, though. Like, if people can't function in society, what are they supposed to do? Like, just keep causing trouble for those people in society that are, like, you know, not hurting anybody? Like, why should those people's lives be put in jeopardy because of this crazy person that we want to cater to? Like, I'm crazy, but I would never hurt anybody, at least not intentionally. I mean, I've never hurt anybody physically. But, you know, verbally, yeah. Especially when I was drunk. But, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I do hurt anybody verbally, like, I legit feel bad. And I try to right the wrong. But at the same time, like, I can't help somebody misinterpreting me. I can't help people taking things that I say out of context. I'm a fucking comedian, bitch! Oh, my God. Do you understand hyperbole? You don't. Nobody does. It's just the way that we talk. It's just different. I don't know. Maybe it is just a schizophrenic thing. Because I really do think that, like, cluster A people are, I don't want to say superior. Because we're not narcissists, okay? But, I mean, I think it's definitely a superior way to, like, look at things. And okay, a person that's not overly sensitive, that's not getting upset about every little thing, taking shit personally all the time, making other people's lives harder, I would say that those people are better people. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. This is why I say equality's not real. Cluster A is not equal to cluster B. Cluster C, they're alright. But, like, yeah, dude, cluster B people fucking suck. And if it's a frontal lobe situation, there's nothing you could really do about it because they're children. They're not going to grow out of it. And it doesn't matter how old they get, how much shit they fuck up, and how many ways they screw themselves over. So if they're willing to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again, do you really think they care if they hurt you? Do you really think they're going to notice why they're doing that? So when people say, oh, the narcissist is aware of it. No, they're really not. They might be aware that they're hurting somebody if they're malignant or whatever. But you're missing the point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're aware of it. What matters is how you deal with it. Okay? So accusing them of anything, it's not. What difference is that gonna fucking make? Absolutely nothing. Nothing's gonna change, dude. No change, no change. I heard that a while ago, and it definitely resonates. We have to change as people, but it's a mental thing. It's spiritual. You have to be what they're not. Empathic, compassionate, and close to God. If you're close to God, they can't fuck with you. And that's why they hate you so damn much, because they're not.
They're knee deep in their own darkness and they don't even know it. Because darkness is all they know. So, I just feel sorry for these motherfuckers. I really do.